बंसी पागल कर जाती है। हे श्याम तेरी बंसी पागल कर जाती है। मुस्कान तेरी मीठी घायल कर जाती है। मुस्कान तेरी मीठी घायल कर जाती है। जय जय श्री राधा रमण जय जय नवल किशोर जय गोपी चित चोर प्रभु जय जय माखन जय जय माखन चोर। श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद। उपस्थित भगवत कथा अनुरागी
Hare Krishna, I welcome you all the mellowful devotees who are regularly attending this katha. I heartily welcome all the senior Vaishnavas of the International Society of Krishna Consciousness. I also welcome all the devotees who have joined in huge numbers through the medium of Facebook, YouTube, Zoom, etc., all the listeners, and in particular, I welcome the host family who, with their mellowful heart, have organized this beautiful katha, the residents of Canada, Suresh Parmar Prabhuji and Jayashri Mataji. I welcome you all on the seventh day and the last day of this katha. I welcome you all and our humble obeisances at your lotus feet. Radhe Shyam.
श्रीमद् भागवत वेणु माधुरी।
So we have been discussing about the Venu Madhuri.
भगवान श्री कृष्ण की बांसुरी को सुनकर जो भाव प्रकट हुए हैं,
So it discusses the mellows of the gopis in the mood of separation with the Lord, and not completely, but we are trying a humble trial to discuss a little about this deep, intriguing Bhagvatam pastime of the Lord. As you see in the background, that gopis are seeing Krishna leaving and playing the flute, and what effect this sound vibration with the flute of the Lord is being discussed in these verses. So let's start with the first verse of the Venu Gita.
Phalamidam na param vidama sakhya pashunanavise shayator vayasye Vaktram brajesha sutayo ranuvenu jushtam yerva nipita manura takatakshamoksham. गोपियाँ कहती हैं आंख वालों के लिए
The gopis say that the purpose of these eyes for the living entity who all have eyes is to have the darshan of the Lord. Those who have been blessed with an eyesight, then what is the best use of these eyes? That is to see the Lord Shyam Sundar. And how it is mentioned in the verse, Phalam Midam means the greatest benefit. What is the benefit? To see the Lord with his gopas and the cows and playing the flute, seeing his side glances and such beautiful, mesmerizing Lord darshan is the ultimate benefit for all the living entities. According to Subodhini, Vallabhacharya has told the 10 symptoms of ecstatic love, and he mentions that the love starts from the eyes. So the first stage of love is, which we discussed yesterday. But in this verse, the gopis are seeing the Lord as well as they are crossing the first stage of love. And the second stage of love is manasanga, that is to constantly remember the lover. Then there is the third stage where we decide to do something for our loved ones. So if we love Krishna, then we should chant the 16 rounds, or we should make a commitment not to eat meat or intoxication, etc. So it's not just by saying that we love it's enough, but we need to act as well. Fourth is Nidra Chedan. So the person who loves, who is in love, he leaves their sleep. And a person who really loves Krishna cannot sleep much. because they lose their sleep. And the fifth stage of the love is constant burning of the heart and losing weight. So, the next stage is the detachment from the material desires and attachment to the spiritual desires towards the Lord. So, the seventh stage is Lajja Prakash. That means that they lose the sense of their shame. A person who thinks that the person who feels ashamed of making that we can a person who hesitates to put the tilak on their forehead or to carry the bead bag, that means that they don't have love. So many people have asked this question, that is it okay to do the chanting in the counter? It is not wrong, because gradually they will progress, but that is won't be considered as the condition of a lover. A person who loves lose their sense of shame. What do Rukmini Devi says, mentioned in front of your screen on top right of the screen? She says that
रूपम दृशा दृशमिताम अखिलार्थ लाभम त्वयि अच्युता विशति चित्र अपत्रपम में. अंतिम शब्द आप देख सकते हैं.
So she's in the last word of the verse, you see, Chitra Chitmapatrapam means that I have lost my sense of shame, that I have left all the shame, and my heart is running towards you. From the moment I have heard about you, Shrutva Gunan means from the time I have heard about your qualities, my mind has become reckless and shameless and is running towards you. Although I belong to a family of a Kshatriya, but yet I have took this courage to write this love letter to you, because for the sake of love, my shame has evaded me. So, this is the seventh stage or symptom of love. In Shrimad Bhagavatam, in the 11th canto, Nimi Maharaj asked the question that what is the Sanatan Dharma or the topmost Dharma, that not if not today, then maybe tomorrow, we all have to follow the eternal religion, that is Sanatan Dharma. And
शृण्वन् सुभद्रा निरताङ्गपाणे जन्मानि कर्मा निचयानि लोके गीतानि नामानि तदर्थकानि गायन् विलजो विचरेद्य संग. श्री नव योगेश्वर मुनि ने निमि महाराज को
Sri Navnogeshwar Muni tells Nimi Maharaj about the eternal or the Sanatan Dharma,
जिसने अपनी पानी अपने हाथों में रथ का चक्का धारण किया,
that the one who became the who holds the by listening the pastimes of such Lord who became the charioteer and
सनातन धर्म किसे कहते हैं? केवल रोज
listening the pastimes of that is the definition of eternal righteousness or religion. Just offering the fragrance or lamp to the Lord is not enough and cannot be considered as eternal religion. So he could have said anything else as well, but he says Rathang Panir, the Lord who held the wheel of the chariot. So that means that he has hand. That is why he is able to carry the wheel of the chariot in the pastime of Bhishma Pitama. And if he has hands, then he might have legs as well. Then he will have a forehead as well, and eyes, etc. That means that Krishna is not impersonal, but he is a person. That is the first and foremost point, that the Lord has a form. Such Lord Sri Krishna or the Supreme Personality of Godhead's pastime we should hear. So sometimes people give me suggestion that you should not just say about the pastimes of the Lord, but you should also speak something about motivation. So even if I want to, I don't know how to do that. But and the Sanatan Dharma's definition is that we should listen to the pastimes of the Lord who has a form. And if we keep on listening to the pastimes of the Lord, then our heart will become purified and gradually everything will come into its place. And it's not about just listening the pastimes of the Lord, but along with it, Gitani means singing the pastime of the Lord. And not only the Katha, but also Namani means
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare.
so it's not about just the listening the Katha, but also chanting the holy names. I'm extremely satisfied and happy that for 2 hours before the Katha, all the devotees gather here and chant the holy names. So I see everybody, although it's evening for us and mostly, so I chant in the morning, but as you all are chanting, so in the evening I chant with you as well. And I observe all of you. I have prepared a list. And I have told Aminarayan Prabhu that I want to meet all these people who are chanting. So he was saying that even the organizers are not able to meet you. But for me, the priority, the devotees who chant the holy names, 16 rounds of the names are in my priority list. And I personally appreciate that because that is the conclusion of the Bhagvatam and all the scriptures. So that is what my Guru Maharaj has ordered me, that after every 10-15 minutes we should tell the glories of the chanting, because we do listen to the Bhagavatam to get attracted towards the holy names of the Lord. And if we chant properly, then we will be able to perform our devotional service in a better manner. We will be able to understand and listen to the Bhagavatam Katha more efficiently. So I will keep on telling you the glories of the chanting of the holy names. But right now that the word Namani came, so I just want to share that we have to listen to the pastimes of the Lord, we have to sing the glories of the Lord, and we have to chant the holy names of the Lord. So we take the names of the Lord by chanting, or otherwise along with that, gayan, that is to sing. And while singing the glories of the Lord, we should become village. That is the point I wanted to stress upon. So we should leave all shame and we should sing and dance. The Meera of Mewar left all the shame and sang the glories of the Lord.
लगन ऐसी लागी लगन, लागी लागी रे लगन, लागी लागी रे लगन, ऐसी लागी लगन, मीरा हो गई मगन। वो तो गली गली हरि गुण गाने लगी, महलों में पली बन के जोगन चली, मीरा रानी दीवानी कहाने लगी, ऐसी लागी लगन। मीरा रानी क्या कहलाने लगी? दीवानी कहलाने लगी। दीवानी माने पागल, विलज्ज।
Meera Rani was addressed as crazy, as she has lost all her shame in ecstasy of love. So, out of the 10 symptoms of love, 7th is the feeling of shamelessness, and the 8th is that the lover becomes distressed and they become so much distressed and want to meet the Lord. And in the 9th stage, because we are not able to find the Lord, in the separation, they become unconscious. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had presented this stage in front of us. He used to be so much distressed that he used to fall unconscious on the ground. When he saw Jagannath, Lord in Jagannath Puri, he fainted after seeing the Lord. And he used to become conscious and then unconscious. And the 10th stage is the ultimate, that is in the separation of the Lord to leave their body. So if you love the Lord even more than your life, that is the greatest stage. So if the Lord or the lover is not there, then how can we live? That was the stage of Maharaj Dashrath.
राम कहीं राम राम कहीं राम तनु परिहरि विरह राउ गए सुरधाम तनु परिहरि विरह राउ गए सुरधाम। रामचंद्र जब महाराज दशरथ को छोड़कर चले गए, ज्यादा
दिन Lord Ram left King Dashrath, then King Dashrath could not even live for more than 5 days. He left his body on the 6th day. He was so much distressed in separation of the Lord that he left his body. That is the stage of love, and that is what Goswami ji wrote, that in the whole material world, King Dashrath had got the benefit of living and of death. He got the benefit of both. To leave this body worrying about the material world or our relatives, family, etc., is not the ideal way, because the world existed before us and it will not cease to exist after us as well. So these are the 10 stages of the love. So the first is Chakshu Priti, which is mentioned here by the gopis. So they are telling the ultimate benefit of seeing the Lord. That is the greatest benefit of getting the eyes. So the second verse, gopis mention
किमाचरदयं कुशलं स्म वेणु दामोदराधर सुधा अपि गोपिकानां भुङ्क्ते स्वयं यदवसि अष्टर भुङ्क्ते स्वयं यदवसिष्ठरसं हृदीन्यो हरीष्यत्वचोश्रुमुमुचो तरवो यथार्थः। अद्भुत। अब टेक ऑफ हो रही है फ्लाइट है, अब जो गोपियों ने शुरू किया है।
So now we are proceeding in the Venu Gita. So the gopis are distressed and they are talking with each other. They say that what austerity has this flute performed? What good pious deed she has performed?
इस बांसुरी ने ऐसा कौन सा कर्म किया है? हरि गोपी, इस बांसुरी ने ऐसी कौन सी तपस्या की है?
What austerity has she performed?
अधर सुधा अपि गोपी का नाम कृष्ण के
that the nectar or elixir of the lips of Lord Damodar, which belongs to us. Gopikana means it belongs to us, the gopis. Sudha means elixir or nectar. So it belongs to us, but before us, this flute has enjoyed that nectar or elixir. I want to thank the Govind TV. The pastime that we are discussing is shown in the background, the graphic. This graphic increases the mellows.
दामोदर भगवान श्री कृष्ण की अधर सुधा अपि गोपी कानम, यद्यपि हमारे लिए है, लेकिन हमसे पहले तो ये बांसुरी प्राप्त
So although the nectar of the lips of the Lord belongs to us, but this flute is taking it before even us. And not only that, he is flowing his life air into the flute, and so they say that although, so one gopi said that we are also getting the voice or the vibration of the flute, but Gujarati gopi, she said that this is not pure, and it is like the passive smoke of a cigarette. So I am just translating the fundamental verses. So if I want to elaborate the first two lines of this verse, they are asking that what austerity or piety have this flute performed, that Krishna always keep this flute with him. So as you people, when wake up, you see where is your mobile. Similarly, Lord Krishna searches for his flute as soon as he wakes up. Without the flute, he cannot even wake up, and without the flute, he cannot even sleep. So, as we see the mobile and then we go to sleep, and when we wake up, we first thing we see is our mobile. So we can understand how much important flute has in Krishna's life. So what are we discussing? So what pious deed this flute has performed, that she has got so much fortune that she stays with the Lord day and night. And when she is with the Lord, he is more happier or happy. So the gopi said that when the Lord is in extreme ecstasy, then he plays the flute. When he becomes extremely happy, then what he do? He plays the flute. So what does it mean? That the Lord shares his happiness with the flute. So in our life, when we have some happiness, so we share it with the person who is closest to us. For an example, if someone has their birthday and we are feeling happy, then we just celebrate it with our friends, family.
जो क्लोज है उसी को देंगे, जो सबसे क्लोज है उसको सबसे पहले बुलाएंगे। ठीक उसी प्रकार कृष्ण जब प्रसन्न होते हैं तो सबसे पहला काम क्या करते हैं? बांसुरी बजाते हैं।
इसका so the first thing he do is he plays the flute. So that means that the nearest relative of the Lord is his flute.
इस बांसुरी ने ऐसा क्या आचरण किया है? तो किसी
That is why the gopis are asking, what austerity or piety has this flute performed? So when gopi says that we are living entity and this is a non-living thing, but yet Krishna keeps this flute along with him. So whatever I'm speaking is the interpretation of the Acharyas.
तो किम आचरदयम, इस वेणु ने ऐसा क्या आचरण किया है जो लकड़ा होकर भी हमसे निकट स्थान पा गया? इस प्रकार से गोपियां अफसोस कर रही हैं।
So in this manner, the gopis are expressing their misfortune. And when they were discussing this, one gopi approached and she said that you want to know that why Krishna keeps his flute all the time with him and what austerity has it performed? Then listen carefully. This flute has performed a great austerity, and that is why Shyam Sundar keeps her along with it. So the first and foremost is that she has lived in forest, and as the bamboo by which the flute is created or made grows in the forest and it sustains the highest temperature and the coldest weather. It tolerates all kinds of weathers for so many years. And not only that, when it became big, she was separated from her family. It is broken. So it is separated from her family. And she gets bereft of her parents. It's not that Krishna is carrying the flute without any reason. So she has tolerated all kinds of weather. She has left all her family members. And not only that, the
और उसमें अनेकों छिद्र बनाए, इतना कष्ट अपने शरीर पर सहन करना पड़ा, तब जाकर आज कृष्ण
So the maker of the flute, not only that, he just puts the hot metal inside the bamboo to create the holes, and that kind of austerity she has performed. She has undergone so much pain, and we need to learn this philosophy that like the flute we should also serve the Lord, and we should finish our life for the service of the Lord. So if you think that while just sitting in the AC room and just chanting the 16 names, will be sufficient for that is sufficient only for the neophyte devotees. But if we want to progress, then we need to work hard.
कहे सनातन कृष्णेर रतन धन प्रभु कहे सनातन कृष्णेर रतन धन अनेक जतन मिला आय अनेक जतन मिला आय। हे सनातन सनातन
Sanatan Goswami was told by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that the Lord is like a gem, and to get the Lord we have to work hard. Only then we will be able
जीवन को खपाना पड़ेगा
to get the love of the Lord. For that we need to work hard, and we need to surrender all our life in the service of the Lord. So I keep on reminding you, and I will constantly remind you all that when Yashoda Mai ran behind Lord Krishna, so who has the potency to catch the Lord? None. But Mother Yashoda was running and trying to chase the Lord. And when Krishna saw Yashoda Mai, her hard work, when he looked back at Yashoda Mai and he saw her hard work, and it is eternal truth that the Lord doesn't comes to the great austere sages and the saints, but my mother is working hard to catch me. So the Lord sees our hard work. So we need to use our life. So this in US people don't belong to anyone, they just sleep at 8 o'clock, but people are listening till 11-12 o'clock. So they just don't sleep. So we are trying to adjust so that the people in India can get benefit, because majority of our listeners are from there, and this austerity of you the Lord is watching, and by that the Lord will love you.
इस वेणु ने ऐसा, इस बांसुरी ने ऐसा क्या पुण्य किया? तो एक गोपी ने कहा कि इसने तप किया है। तो हमें शिक्षा क्या मिलती है?
So what do we learn from the flute? That we
तब एक गोपी आती,
we need to use our life in the service of the Lord.
लेकिन केवल तपस्या से कृष्ण नहीं मिलते।
Other gopi says that just by performing austerity, they can get the love of the Lord.
क्योंकि केवल तपस्या करने से
Because by performing austerity only, then all these sages and saints perform so much austerity, but yet they couldn't get this fortune that this flute is enjoying. So the second reason is given by the second gopi. She says that Krishna loves the flute more than even us, and the reason behind is
कृष्ण जब बांसुरी को बुलाते हैं तब ही बोलती है, बाकी चुपचाप बैठी रहती है। मतलब कृष्ण जब बुलाते हैं तब ही बोलती है।
This flute only speaks when Krishna tells her to speak, and as he tells what he tells and how much he tells to speak, she does, and she doesn't speak anything beyond Krishna's desire. So what does it mean? She is completely surrendered to the Lord, and that is the reason that she is loved by the Lord so much. So not only austerity but also surrender is equally important.
कितनी सुंदर बात। ये बांसुरी को कृष्ण, बांसुरी इसलिए प्रिय है एक,
so this flute is loved by the Lord because she comes only when she's called. So we should also take a clue, and we should also talk only when we are talking about the Lord. We should not waste our energies in the material entanglements, discussing about the war, etc. If we are not able to do anything beyond discussion, then rather than discussing, we should chant 2 malas more. So we all have a quota to speak. I just felt that a few days back. So we all have a quota of speech, and we should not waste our speech. It is precious. So sometimes I regret that I had so much to speak, and there's so many devotees who are so much keen to listen, but I'm unable to speak. So sometime it might happen that when we are about to die, we will feel that we have wasted our speech unnecessarily in material entanglements and discussions which are futile. So we will become beloved of the Lord when we speak as much it is required and whatever He desires us to speak. Then another gopi added that these two are not only sufficient. So the third point is, she says that how is this flute? So it is not solid, it is hollow inside. So it is hollow inside. And it has so many holes, and inside also it is hollow. So the gopi says that the Lord loves the flute because she is hollow, as she doesn't have any sin in her stomach. So we all carry so much sin in our tummy. So many people might have eaten so much non-veg, etc. So, but this flute has no conceit or deceit. And in Ramayan, Lord says that I love everyone except the person who are deceitful or conceitful. And in contrast to that, we see the Kevat literally argued with the Lord that I will not cross Gangaji for you. But Lord listened to him because he didn't had any sin. So the Lord loves the flute because it is hollow and it has no sins. So another gopi came forward. And she said that so he said that I don't like conceit and hole, chidra. So the gopi said that the flute has holes, yet Lord Krishna has accepted the flute. Why? So the gopi replied that she has holes. That means that she has faults, but she is not hiding her faults or offenses in front of the Lord. She is presenting her faults. We all are filled with offenses and faults. So in the Ayodhya, everybody was pious and perfect, yet there was one mantra. So there always is some fault. So the flute has holes, but she is not hiding it from the Lord. She is presenting herself as she is. But what we do is we perform for offenses, but we never present that to the Lord. And that is the reason the Lord does not accept us. The Lord accepts the flute, although she has holes and she has faults, but she is open and she is revealing her faults to the Lord. So now I remember Jaisal Jadeja. So the Jaisal Jadeja who had performed so many sins in his life, and he is traveling in a boat with a sati, and the boat was shaking and he saw death in front of his eyes, and he tells her that please save me. And this sati, she says that this boat is sinking because you have performed so much sin. We all are going to drown in the sins. So Jaisal said that what should I do? So she says that you express your sins. You should present all your faults and offenses in front of the Lord and your bona fide spiritual master. And he replied, or he sang,
सती में तो हेजी तोड़ी सरोवर पाळ रे वन नाते मोरला मारिया हे जीवन नाते मोरला मारिया तोड़ा दे रे एम जे सल के छे जी ओ जीरे एम जे सल के छे जी। वो एक के बाद एक अपना पाप गिनाने, ये बांसुरी की तरह प्रकट करने,
like the flute, he also started presenting his offenses. He says that I have killed so many animals, and he started counting his sins.
हेजी जेटला माथे जा वाळ रे एटला ते वकरम मैं कर्या हेजी एटला ते वकरम मैं कर्या तोड़ा दे रे एम जे सल के छे जी ओ जी रे एम जे सल के छे। ए साध्वी, मेरे मस्तक के बालों को गिनना आसान
He
है।
says that it is easier to count the hair on my hand, but it is impossible to count my sins and offenses. I have done innumerable sins, but it's the history that when he started speaking about his sins, the boat which was getting overwhelmed with the weight got its balance back. So if we want to save ourselves from drowning, then we should tell our faults and offenses to the Lord and our bona fide spiritual master. And we also have some fault and offenses. We should not hide it. We should present it in front of the Lord. And then the Lord will love us as he loves his flute. So when Ahilya was cursed by her husband, she, although she didn't had offended, she was in ignorance, yet she was cursed to become a stone. And she sat in between the path, and she said that I have sinned and the Lord should know my sin. She was told that people will curse you, they will hit you. And she said that no worries. When I present my offenses, then people will curse me. But gradually, by listening to the curses of the law of the people, gradually I will be hit by the Lord. And if the Lord hits me, then it will be my welfare. So, although she has not sinned, yet she accepted her offenses and faults, yet she presented her offenses, and that is why the Lord accepted her. When Lord Ram went to Shabri, she never said that. She never said that I am devotee since 25 years. So when she met the Lord, then what did she say? She said that I am the greatest sinner of the sinners.
और राम जी मिले और उसके बिल्कुल विपरीत शबरी और अहल्या के विपरीत कौन?
And who is opposite of Ahilya and Shabri is Shurpanakha. She was filled with faults, yet she was hiding all her sins, and she came in a beautiful form, and Lord Ram cut her ears and nose, while Ahilya and Shabri presented what their actual position was.
जो हम भले बुरे सो तेरे, जो हम भले बुरे सो तेरे। हे श्याम सुंदर, हमने माना कि हम बुरे हैं, हमने माना कि हम
We should accept that we are bad, but at least we should say that we are yours, so please accept our faults. But He will accept only when we express that we are at fault. If we try to hide our faults, then we will never be loved. So the biggest philosophical point is shared by the gopis here.
क्या ऐसा बांसुरी ने पुण्य किया कि दामोदर के हाथों में निरंतर रहती है, और जो अधर सुधा हमारे भाग की है वो ये बांसुरी पी जाती है। भोंगते स्वयं यद विष्ट रसम रदिन्यो, ऋष्यत्व चोश्रु मुमुचु तर वो यथार्थ। और एक मजे की बात क्या है, अब सुनिए। बोले सौभाग्य बांसुरी को मिल रहा है। अब देखिए श्लोक में देखिए,
so if you see in the verse here, so all the fortune is being enjoyed by the flute, because the flute is being drank by Lord Shri Krishna. So he is giving the nectar of his lips to the flute, but the ecstasy is felt by the gopis. Yamuna ji is getting overwhelmed or overflowing. So the fortune is being given to the flute, but the river is getting overwhelmed. And even the lotus in the river are enjoying. Even the trees around the Yamuna ji are also feeling ecstatic. So they have nothing to do. The fortune is being given to the flute, but the flowers, the river, and the trees are enjoying the ecstasy of this elixir. Why? So the answer is provided by the gopis themselves. So throughout they have asked the question, but in the last word of the verse, they have answered it themselves. Yatha Arya, because it belongs to the family. So, when a person gets great grades, then the people who are related to them become happy and ecstatic. So they are as happy as they are the parents of the, as the parents become happy and satisfied when their kids perform well.
एक बात कहें, कह दूं? एक बार किसी ने
So once upon a time,
पानी को पूछा
someone asked the
कि
water,
अरे पानी, तू दुनिया में सबको डुबाता है,
that you drown
लेकिन
everybody,
को क्यों नहीं डुबाता?
but never
एक बार
iron
किसी ने पानी को पूछा कि पानी,
drowns in
तू
you.
सबको डुबाता है, बड़े बड़े लोग पानी में, टाइटैनिक जैसा जहाज भी डूब गया,
Even the Titanic could not sustain.
लेकिन काष्ठ को, लकड़े को क्यों नहीं डुबाता?
So, but you never, the wood always float
जवाब देता है, सुनिए,
on you. So the water replies,
जल न डुबावे काष्ठ को, शब्द सुनिए, जल न डुबावे काष्ठ को, यह कौन प्रेम की रीत, ये प्रेम की कौन सी रीत है? यह कौन प्रेम की रीत? तब जल, वो पानी उत्तर देता है, आपनो सींचो जान के, आपनो सींचो जान के, ये है बड़न की रीत, ये है बड़न की रीत। हे पानी, तू सबको डुबा देता है,
so
लकड़े को क्यों नहीं डुबाता? तब पानी कहता है,
the water says that the wood always floats in me because all these trees have sustained and grown by me. So by my water only they have become trees and I have taken care of them. That is why the wood belongs to me. That is why it never drowns, it always floats in my water. So similarly, here the flute is derived from the tree and the tree is sustained by the water of the river. That is why she belongs to the same family. So I just want to say that if someone in our family is performing devotional service towards the Lord, or if someone is preaching in our devotional family as well, or spiritual family as well, then we should not become envious of them. We should support them.
भुवो वितनोति कीर्तिम यद देवकी सुतपदा भुजलब्धलक्ष्मी गोविंद वेणुमनु गोविंद वेणुमनुम तमयूर नृत्यं प्रेक्षादृशान्ववत वरतात्यस्मरन्त सत्वम्। हे सखी, इस वृंदावन को तो देखो, वृंदावनम
So the
सखी।
other gopi says that just look at this Vrindavan. How much decorated this Vrindavan feels. How much beautiful is Vrindavan. the effulgence of the Vrindavan is shining in the whole material world. Why? Because the lotus feet of the son of Devaki and because his lotus feet has Lakshmi ji in his feet, and that is why the signs of the goddess of fortune are left on Vrindavan. This Vrindavan is glorious. The gopis in the Gopi Gita says that since you have been born in Vrindavan, it has become beautiful and all auspicious. So one Acharya has said that if someone gets the color or mood of Vrindavan, then they will develop the feelings of femininity and lose the masculine prowess or the feeling that they are men. So what are the glories of Vrindavan? That whoever enters Vrindavan gets the Gopi Bhav in them. When we go to Vraj Vrindavan, then the Vrijvasis share the pastimes. Jayashri Mataji is so much worried about me. She tells that just speak only for 1 hour. But I feel so excited to speak. What should I do? Our devotees have given us so much free hand. She especially texts me through Amindaran Prabhu that we are not worried, but just speak for 1 hour. But I am feeling ecstasy while speaking. So have you ever heard that Kans came to Vrindavan? So why did he never visited Vrindavan? He was so powerful. Do you know the courage of Kans? All the demons of the world, he has fought with them and he has defeated them all. He even controlled a mad elephant who had the ability to destroy the villages itself, but he controlled the mad elephant, and that is the reason Jarasandh married his 2 daughters to Kans. When Kans knew that Krishna is in Vrij, then why he never visited Vrindavan? He could have come there and killed Krishna by his own hands. He just kept on sending his demons. And it was not that far as well. So, what I'm sharing now is I haven't read it anywhere, but I have heard from the residents or denizens of Raja.
हम तो चिट्ठी के चाकर पोस्टमैन की तरह है, यहाँ का लेकर आपको देते हैं और महिमा
So it's not my, I'm just a postman who is delivering the message that I have heard, and I get the glories by all of you. I'm very grateful to the Acharyas who have provided us immense knowledge through the scriptures. So they say that once Kans came to Vrindavan, that I will kill Krishna, and as soon as he entered Vrindavan, he developed the Gopi Bhav, manifested in Kans, and he turned into a Gopi, and he went to Barsana to meet Radharani. And the associates said that this one is looking as a new Gopi. So they asked Radharani, what service do they perform? Do he perform? So she said that he will pick the cow dung.
और कंस अपने आप में, अब आप लोग कहोगे तो फिर कंस वापस चला जाता। कंस ने सोचा यार इस वेश में गोपी भाव गोपी ड्रेस में वापस जाऊंगा, ये भी ठीक नहीं।
He thought that if I go back, then in this dress, then that will not look appropriate. So when Vrishbhanu Baba came, and he fell at the lotus feet of Vrishbhanu, and he prayed that since I am here, I have developed this Gopi Bhav or Melo, please help me. So Vrishbhanu Baba said that the only solution is that as soon as you go out of Vrindavan or Braj, then you will be eradicated of this mellow of the gopis. And as soon as he left Braj, he came back to his form. So that is the reason he never came to Vrindavan again.
अब देखो यहाँ पर आप देखिए, एक मैं आपको पॉइंट दिखाऊं, आप लोग भी समझेंगे कि नहीं ये प्रभु जी झूठ नहीं बोलते। दूसरी लाइन का पहला शब्द कौन सा है?
So if you see the second word of the first word, the first word of the second line, that is Yat Devaki Sutta, that means the son of Devaki.
अच्छा, अब मैं पूछूंगा कि ये कौन बोल रहा है? ब्रज की गोपियां।
So Braj, the gopis of the Braj are speaking, and what are they saying about Krishna? That he is the son of Devaki.
ये गोपियां बोल रही है, उस समय कृष्ण कितने साल के हैं? 5-7 साल के हैं। टाइम भी मैंने,
and the time when she is speaking,
ये गोपियां कृष्ण को देवकी देवकी का बेटा कह रही है, तो मुझे
although is 5-7 years old, so but she are calling him the son of Devaki. Although he was the son of Devaki, but he was in Gokul. So who knew that? This thing only Vasudev knew, or Gargacharya or Garg Muni knew about it. So gopis were not aware of this. But how they were able to reveal such a intriguing, deep secret? This is how we have to understand Bhagavatam. And if we understand through the mellow, then also it is not suitable, because the gopis are in the mellow of Madhurya, but here they're discussing the mellow of eternal affection, that is Vatsalya. And it is, along with that, it is a deep secret which no one knew. How did the gopis revealed it? There is a history. Nand Baba is the king of Braja, and while roaming, he went to Bengal, and there were some girls who were destitute or orphan, and he took mercy on them and brought them to Braja. And these girls used to stay in Nand Baba's cow herd or cow shed and take care of the cows. So they were in the shelter of Nand Baba, and they used to call him their father and Yashoda their mother. So Nand Baba is father and mother in relation to the Lord. So, but at the same time, they are loving to they love the Lord. So they cannot love their brother. So that is why they're saying that he's not the son of Yashoda and Nand, but he is the son of Devaki. So that is the reason now we can love him. So now we can have a Madhuri Rasa with him. So how deep is this meaning? So when we'll have another katha on the same topic, then we will go deeper and understand it more. Further, they add, gopis say that they say that these deers are far more fortunate than us. So first understand the word dhanya here. When you study Bhagvatam, then there are three people who are called fortunate or dhanya. So Vallabhacharya is coming in front of my eyes and I need to sing.
Shri Yamuna Dhanya Shri Yamuna Kripa Kari Shri Gokula Vraj Sukhaya Pajo Vraj Niraj Ma Ahar Nishayamane સ્થિર કરીને સ્થાપજો ચાલો તો થઈએ વ્રજવાસી પરિક્રમા કરીએ 84 હે મારા જન્મ મરણ નીટળી ફાંસી મારા જન્મ મરણ નીટળી ફાંસી धन्य श्री यमुना कृपा करी श्री गोकुल व्रज सुखया जो। इस श्लोक में प्रथम शब्द है धन्य। तो धन्य
the first word here is dhanya. And who is dhanya? Who is dhanya? Kalindi or Yamuna ji, who is the wife of Lord Shri Krishna, because she is fortunate and she can make others fortunate. And the second is Dhanya, mentioned in Bhagavatam, is Yashoda. as whose milk from her bosom Krishna has drank, who has played in her lap. So Yamuna and Yashoda. And the third is the person who listens to the pastimes of the Lord is also Dhanya. When
राज कुमारी धान्य धान्य गिरी राज कुमारी तुम समान नहीं कोई उपकारी तुम समान नहीं कोई उपकारी। मेरे पास समय कम है,
so Shivji told Parvati ji that you are dhanya because you have asked about the pastimes of the Lord. You are extremely fortunate that you have got this opportunity to listen about the pastimes of the Lord, the deep mellows of the gopis and the songs of the flute of the Lord. So let me conclude this word dhanya. So let me conclude with this word. And even I am feeling very grateful. Let me share my heartfelt gratitude to all of you that you all come with so much mellow and love, that you come and listen to me with so much faith. But you all come with so much faith and love. And because of you, I am became grateful.
बाकी हम क्या है, जड़ वस्तु से बना हुआ यह देह है, चमड़े की जीवा है, जीवन की ओर जा रहा है, व्यर्थ ही समय बीत रहा है.
We are just wasting our time, but you all are dhanya who organized this Bhagavatam Katha and who inquire to listen to the Bhagavatam Katha. And you give me this opportunity to sing the glories of Shrimad Bhagavatam. Although I accept that I have no qualification, I don't have any scriptural knowledge, but under the shelter of Guru Maharaj and by reading the books of Srila Prabhupada, I am speaking something, but you all listen. I am really grateful to all of you. Please keep on this mellow and please keep on blessing us. I pray that as this flute speaks when and where Krishna desires and how he desires, so similarly, even I get the same mellow that I speak about Krishna and I surrender my whole life for Krishna. Please bless me that as flute, let me also use my speech for the service of the Lord. So I just pray and ask you to pray for me as well. Especially, I would like to thank the organizer, the Jayashri Mataji and Suresh Bhai, who have been listening constantly this Bhagavatam Katha. So I'm really thankful to all of you. And I apologize that I just touched the Venu Gita, but even in touching that, I enjoyed a lot, and the people or the devotees have now inquisitiveness to know more. So if that is also achieved, then that is also a great feat to achieve. So I really thank you all. So let's conclude the session with Jai Jaikar the 330th Katha of Akshay Tritiya Mahotsav and Venu Geet.
ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम महापुराण की श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की प्रातः स्मरणीय परम आदरणीय भागवत भूषण भागवत प्रधान परम पूज्य राधा गोविंद गोस्वामी महाराज की